Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into James Clear's game-changing book, Atomic Habits. It's all about a really simple but powerful idea that tiny, almost invisible changes can lead to absolutely remarkable results. So, to really get this, let's start with a story. Picture this, it's 2003, and British cycling is, well, a joke. Seriously, think about it. In nearly 100 years of the Olympics, they'd scraped together just one single gold medal. They were basically nobodies in the sport.
So the big question is, how do you go from that to a powerhouse? Well, they hired a new performance director, a guy named Dave Brailsford. And he didn't come in and, just tear everything down. Nope. He had a strategy that was so simple, it was almost radical.
Brailsford's whole philosophy was something he called the aggregation of marginal gains. Sounds fancy, but the idea was simple. Break down absolutely everything that goes into riding a bike, and then just improve each little thing by just 1%. He believed all those tiny gains would snowball into something huge.
And this is where things get really interesting, because this is where most of us get it wrong, right? We expect progress to be this nice, steady, straight line. But that's not how it works. The real power of that 1% is that it compounds. Your habits multiply over time, creating this explosive growth that looks like an overnight success, but it's been building in the background the whole time.
That early phase where you're putting in the work but seeing zero results, James Clear has a name for that, the plateau of latent potential. He also calls it the valley of disappointment, which is so relatable. It's that frustrating period where you feel like all your hard work is for nothing. But here's the key. The work isn't wasted, it's just being stored.
He uses this great analogy of an ice cube. Imagine it's in a room that's 28 degrees, nothing. 29, still a block of ice. 30, 31. Crickets. It feels like nothing is happening. But then, that 1 degree shift to 32, bam! A massive change begins. Your effort at 31 degrees wasn't wasted. It was building up the potential for that breakthrough.
Okay, so that's the theory. It's powerful stuff. But how do we actually do this? How do we build these 1% improvements into our own lives? Well, Clear says every single habit we have follows a 4-step loop, and he gives us a super simple framework to take control of it.
This is the absolute core of the book, the 4 laws of behavior change. To build a good habit, you just follow the laws. Make it obvious, attractive, easy, and satisfying. And if you want to break a bad habit, you just flip them. Make it invisible, unattractive, difficult, and unsatisfying. Let's dig into a couple of the most powerful tactics.
All right, first up, Law 1, make it obvious. This is all about making the triggers for your good habits totally impossible to miss. And one of the best ways to do that is a clever little technique called habit stacking.
The idea behind habit stacking is genius in its simplicity. Instead of trying to just remember a new habit out of thin air, you literally attach it to a habit you already do without thinking. You're basically piggybacking the new habit onto the momentum of an old one.
And look how specific these are. The formula is just after I do my current habit, I will do my new habit. It creates a really clear, obvious cue that's already wired into your daily life. No guesswork needed.
Now, the second law is about making it attractive, which is super important. But let's be real, one of the biggest roadblocks for all of us is effort, which brings us to the third law, make it easy. We are all wired to take the path of least resistance. It's just human nature. The harder something is, the less likely we are to do it.
So to fight that, Clear gives us the 2-minute rule. This is a total game changer. The idea is that any new habit you start should take less than 2 minutes to do. It's not about achieving the whole goal, it's about making it so ridiculously easy to start that you can't possibly say no. It's a gateway habit.
And you get the idea, right? The real goal here isn't to just read one page. It's to master the art of showing up. Because once you've taken out the yoga mat, you're way more likely to actually do some yoga. The hardest part of any new habit is just starting. This rule solves that.
But here's the thing. All these strategies, the habit stacking, the 2-minute rule, they're just tools. They're all pointing towards a much bigger, much deeper idea. The real goal of building better habits isn't just about what you get, it's about who you become. Clear breaks it down into these 3 layers. Most of us start at the top, focusing on the outcome, the result we want. A better way is to focus on the process, the systems. But the most powerful, lasting change, that happens when you start with the deepest layer, your identity.
And this is the line that just sticks with you. Your habits are how you literally embody an identity. Every time you perform a tiny habit, it's like you're casting a vote for the type of person you want to be. This is exactly what happened to British cycling.
every tiny improvement was a vote for their new identity as winners.
And that just reframes the whole thing, doesn't it? It's not about achieving a goal, it's about becoming someone. Every single day, with every tiny choice you make, you're casting these little votes. So the question the book really leaves us with is a pretty powerful one. Who are you voting to be?